Hello, Year 4. Welcome to your last lesson of the day. And it is science after our really fun investigation on Tuesday. So I'm just going to share my screen now. And we are going to have a look at our task for today, our follow-up task. So we are going to be explaining the results of our investigation. So think back to what that was. What was the purpose of the fun experiment? The skills that we're going to be focusing on today are, again, asking scientific and relevant questions. It doesn't have to be out loud. It can be in your own head. You're questioning yourself. What happened? Why did it happen this way? Recording information appropriately. We're doing that by using some of our timings that hopefully some of you managed to record, and also explaining your results, links to that recording of information appropriately. And hopefully some of you may even be able to draw a scientific diagram to show the process happening, what your experiment actually was. Okay? Few vocabulary words to think about, so make sure you pause the screen, see if you can get them written down somewhere. The melting point of water, the boiling point of water, what is a particle, and what is matter. Have a little think about those four key terms. So, as we hopefully know and can remember now, the melting point of water ice is at 0 degrees. And that's when ice changes state from a solid, where those particles are grouped together, they're very uniformed, to a liquid. Okay, so it changes from ice to water. The boiling point is 100 degrees for water. Think back to when we boiled the water in the kettle, though, and we saw the steam. We were looking at that water vapor and the condensation. That wasn't at 100 degrees. Can you remember what temperature that was? And can you remember why it was a lower temperature than 100 degrees? See if you can explain that to someone at home. Finally, then, particle is a microscopic portion of matter. So it's something that we can only see under a microscope and not through the human eye. So what is matter? Matter is pretty much anything that has mass or volume or occupies space. So we know that matter can form in many different states: solids, liquids, and gases. Okay. Your starter here. We know, because we've explored this, ketchup is a liquid. But what if the sea was gloopy like ketchup, that thicker substance within a liquid? Have a little think about that. Also, a massive thank you to that person in the class that researched this over the last week or so, was going to feedback in class this week, but did email me. So big thumbs up. Thank you. Snow is actually a solid. It says here, snow and hail is a solid. They are solids. Sleet has solids within a liquid mass, and rain is liquid. So let's break that down a little bit. Snow is water that crystallizes when the temperature gets below freezing, and that crystallization you see in snowflakes. So you might want to Google sort of snow crystallizing, and you see some really cool pictures. Sleet is when the temperature freezes, but then as it falls from the clouds, it partially melts. And interesting fact, clouds actually contain two states of matter, solids and gases, that only during precipitation do liquids come into action. Challenge X, lots of you tried this, so well done. Ice forms when the temperature of water reaches 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius. We've been over that, we know that. And that includes ice on roadways. So why is salt used? We always see grit-in, we always see salt being used. Some of you I saw use this in your experiment, and it tended to be the fastest sort of substance material used to help sort of naturally melt your ice lollies or ice cubes. Road salt works by lowering the freezing point of water, and that's done by a process called freezing point depression. Okay, the freezing point of the water is lowered once the salt is added, so it makes the salt basically more difficult. The salt makes the water more difficult to freeze. Okay, just because that freezing point has been lowered, it'd have to get to even colder temperatures. Your task for today is, as explained, that follow-up activity from your fun experiment. So I've broken it down into steps for you. You might want to do this in sort of paragraphs, maybe subheadings, other than for your introduction. You may want to give it a title as well if you want to. So, first paragraph, your introduction. What was the focus of your experiment? Yeah, it was to use different materials and resources to melt ice as quickly as possible. Next one, next paragraph. Which materials did you use? You may have put your ice lollies or ice cubes in bowls. I saw a couple of people put it in a frying pan because they were investigating conductors and insulators, comparing the differences there. Did you wrap it in paper towels? Did you cover it in salt? For now, just the materials in that section, they can be listed in bullet points because we always use bullet points in science. It's a great way to express some of our information. Following on from that, our third section, our third paragraph, can you actually now explain what happened? How long did it take? Did you actually have more than one ice cube and you were comparing them with different materials? If so, what was the difference? Think about one of our skills we looked at on Tuesday, we mentioned, was fair testing. Did you both put them in at the same time? Were they covered by the same amount? If you were to do the experiment again, is there anything you would change to make sure it was a fair test? You might also, underneath that, want to try and include a scientific diagram of what you did and what happened, maybe a before, during, and after. And finally, as a challenge X, can you try and link your experiment back to why we use salt on roads during winter time? As you know, the winning substance material was salt compared to all of the other things. So maybe you could link that to our earlier slide of why is salt used on snowy and icy roads. I look forward to seeing some fantastic writing because I know that you're all so excited and so interested by the experiment. So let's make sure we also get the writing part done as well. That's all for today. Christmas jumpers on tomorrow as it's Christmas jumper day. So you may even see me in a bit of a elf jumper. Who knows? Bye, guys.